Hi, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you also about the caregiver's role and hopefully give you some good ideas about what to do to keep these stress levels down for y'all. So taking care of someone you love when they're sick is really stressful. Everybody feels it. Everybody goes through it. It's not just you. You have to give up your own personal agenda to take care of somebody else who's sick in your family. And that's a long commitment. This isn't something you're going to do this week, and next week it's going to be over with. This is a long commitment for caregivers. So there's a lot of stress related with that. Your life should not stop to help somebody else, so you still have everything that you were dealing with before, plus trying to take care of issues for somebody else. So that's a perfect combination for stress and burnout for people. So let's talk about some caregiver responsibilities. And these are going to vary for everybody. Depends on where your family member is. Sometimes you might just need to check on that person a couple times a week or every day, just to be sure they're doing okay, they got their medicine, they don't need anything, short visit. Sometimes you might need to run errands for them. Maybe you have to go to the grocery store, or you have to go take them to the beauty shop, or you have to take them to the doctor. So you're going to need a break sometimes, right? So if you have somebody else who can take your loved one to the doctor for you, it's okay, let them do it. Get your break. When you come to the doctor's office and the doctor comes in the room to see the patient, you can always use your cell phone and call. So you can still hear what the doctor's saying, and if you want to ask them any questions, then you can still ask. This way we're all going to stay on the same page, and you get that opportunity to ask, but you also get a bit of a break. We know by the time you come down here, you find a parking place, you find the building you're supposed to be in, you get to the office you're supposed to be in. Patients' blood pressures are 10, 20 points higher sometimes, so we settle down a little bit, and I'm sure if we check the caregivers' blood pressures, they'd be high like that too. Sometimes you might be asked to help with medicines. You might have to set up the medicines for them. You might have to make a schedule for them. Sometimes what they're doing isn't working, and you're keeping that blood pressure log, like y'all know is so very important right now. And the blood pressures aren't where we want them to be, so maybe it's just the time you're taking the medicine. Sometimes you might just have to help them adjust the times. Okay, and then you might have to fill out paperwork. There's so many different kinds of paperwork with all of this healthcare, and we can help you with that. I want you to know that. So we're not going to just dump on you guys to do all this paperwork, but there are insurance forms, there are disability, leave of absence, and then you get all these medicines, and they get quite costly. So then you have insurance forms to fill out for assistance with paying for medicines, and that's very stressful to any of those papers for people who don't do it all the time. So, use the people you have to help you with all that. Okay, sharing is caring, and caring is love. Everybody needs to have a role. Sharing responsibilities with your family members is crucial for the unity of the family. Like you've heard these guys say, they're not always happy with each other the way it went, but everybody still needs to do their part. If you have a sibling that lives 1,000 miles away, they can still contribute. Maybe it's a financial contribution, so they're paying something extra for mom to go get her hair done. That's still contributing, that's still helping. So everybody can help somehow. So the interesting thing is that primary caregivers, 66% of the time is going to be a female. So if y'all are mothers of sons, be nice to your daughter-in-law, because she's going to be taking care of you someday. 10% of the time, the primary caregiver feels that the other family members did their part. Only 10% of the time. Well, I thought that was kind of interesting. And then 50% of the time, the primary caregiver says, I really didn't want this responsibility anyway. So keep that in mind when y'all are not getting along real well, because it is very stressful. It's something that not anybody really wants to do, but it's necessary, and somebody's got to take the role. Somebody's got to take the lead. Don't quit your day job. 3 out of 4 caregivers report that they had to quit or alter their job to take care of a loved one. 81% of these people who are caregivers said that sometime at work they had to use their time at work to check on the patient or to make some kind of transportation arrangement or to make some kind of doctor's appointment or something for the patients. 70% took days off. 64 came in early or left late, came in late or left early. According to MetLife Alliance for Caregivers, females who leave the job early or quit their job through their lifespan has lost $324,000 in insurance, benefits, retirement money, and just financial costs on their own. So when you're feeling stressed, here's some symptoms of caregiver stress: anxiety, depression, irritability, fatigue or rundown. You start to have trouble sleeping, and you start overreacting to a minor little nuisance. I burnt that egg, and it's just the end of the world, you know. It's really not. Throw it out, get another, and it's all good. New or worsening health problems on their own, or you start to feel resentment towards somebody else because now you think they're not doing their part. So now you're starting to feel resentment, and that can be just you're getting too stressed out. You start neglecting other responsibilities, or you cut back on your own leisurely activities. So these are some signs of caregiver burnout. You have less energy. You start feeling like you're catching a cold or flu every single time something goes around. I've got it now. You're probably burnt out. You're constantly exhausted even after you sleep. You neglect your own needs. And maybe that's because you're out of time or because you really just don't care anymore. Life revolves around the caregiver, and you don't get much satisfaction out of it. If you're starting to not feel like you're doing a good thing, then you need a break, and it's time to call somebody or get some help for yourself taking care of that person, because it's going to be bad for you and it's going to be bad for the person you're trying to take care of. If you have trouble relaxing when help's available, that's not a good sign either. Or if you feel helpless and hopeless. When you're burned out, it's hard to do anything at all. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury. It's a necessity. You have to take care of yourself too. You're not going to be able to help someone if you can't help yourself. You need some balance in your life. So don't let these caregiving responsibilities take over your life. Spend time doing things that you like to do, something that makes you feel like you have a purpose. Just go to church or read a book or go out in your garden. You can do things at home. If you have to be with a caregiver all the time, you don't have to keep your eyes on them 24/7. Do some things that you want to do. Prioritize things that you enjoy. Find a way to feel empowered. Powerlessness is the #1 contributor to burnout. Celebrate even little victories. Embrace your choice. Remember why you decided to do this. Maybe you're trying to repay a patient or a parent who took care of you. Maybe it's your own value system. You know, it's my grandpa. I'm not going to let him go to some stranger, have some stranger taking care of grandpa. I'm going to take care of him. Maybe you're just trying to set an example for your children. And then remember these things when you're in a hard time. These things will help motivate you and get you through that hard time. Focus on what you can control. You can't wish an illness away. It's not going to happen. No matter how hard you wish or how many times you try to wish, it's not going to go away. So focus on the things that you can do to face the challenges that you know you're going to have. Being prepared for the future goes a long, long way when it's really a tough time and now you're going to have to make some decisions. If you do those things early, it's a lot less stressful for everybody. The patient, the caregivers, the family, everybody will feel a lot less stress if you're well prepared. So remember, you're not in this alone. We're here for you. Don't be afraid to call us. There's no greater compliment than I feel like I get when my patients call and ask me what to do. What are we going to do? What needs to happen next? So don't be afraid to call.